Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about CSS part and HTML attributes and one of the container called div element. Okay. Before going into it, we have to do a task. Okay. What is the task here? We need to make all these elements to center. Okay. We need to make all these elements to center. How you are going to make all these elements to center? So what are the elements here? First of all, as we written in the previous classes, the first element is a heading element and the second one is a paragraph and third one is a button element, right? So bring all these elements to center. So for this, we are going to learn CSS and the container element and one of the attributes called class. So first of all, we'll discuss about the CSS part. What is the CSS? So CSS is nothing but Cascading Style Sheet. It is a style sheet language which use it to style the elements of the HTML content, right? In the CSS files, these are created using some rule sets. How it will be look like? It contains a selector, property and value. So what is a selector and what is a property and what is a value? We are going to discuss about it. So first of all, what is a selector? Selector is nothing but it is an element which we want to change in the HTML content. Property is a color or the text alignment or any of these things are called text properties. So next one, so how the text should be? It will be green or red or center, right? All these will be comes under the value. Okay, so these combinations are called rule set. Before going to add the CSS part to the HTML file, we need to make all the heading, paragraph and button elements into a container. How you are going to make them into a container? By using the div element. So this div element is used to make all the content into a container. Okay, here is an example how it looks like. Now as we observed in the previous page, we have written the heading element, paragraph element and the button element. So we have moved all these elements into a container called div. So next, here the main thing is HTML attributes. Using this, we are going to design the content of the HTML file. Here is the list of attributes. So what are they? Class, ID, href and source, disable, width and height, etc. We are going to discuss about the class. Okay. So here is the syntax, how it looks like. So tag is nothing but here the div element is a tag, the attribute is a class and the value which we want to give to that tag. Okay, and in between the content will be updated. So let's try out in the VS Code. Here we need to add a CSS file in the VS Code, right? We need to add a CSS file in the VS Code. Click on the new file. So you'll get a text like box. So in this you need to type style.css. Okay. By typing style.css, a file is created that looks like a CSS file. Okay. It looks like a CSS file. In this style sheet, now I am going to make all these elements into center. How we are going to make? First of all, we need to add the div element to the content which you want to make them into center. Add a div element. Okay. Here I want to make all the paragraph, heading and button elements into center. So I am going to add the div element to this content. Okay. So press enter. Add a div here. So this closing tag should be at last. We have moved all the elements into a div tag. Let's add a class. So what is the value for this? I'll put this class value as container. Okay. Now in the style sheet, so what is the syntax for the CSS? After dot, you need to write the HTML element value. So what is the HTML element value here? The container. Okay. So let's write here container. And then open the flower brackets. In between these, you need to write the property of the element. So what is the property you want to do now? So you need to do the text elements to center, right? These all the text, right? So make them into center. I want to make them into center. So write text align. This is a property name called text align, makes all the container elements to center. So write here center. Okay. So I have done, but here there is no change, right? So to change this content, we need to add the CSS file to the HTML part. How you are going to link these two files? Using the link tag. So write down here, open the tag and close the tag link. After link, you need to mention the relationship. What is the relationship between the CSS and the HTML? The relationship is style sheet, right? It is a style sheet. So I mentioned style sheet. And then after the relationship, you need to mention the reference. So another attribute comes here called H reference. So using the H reference, you are going to refer the style sheet in the HTML. So write down the folder name here, style.css. So which I have created in the VS Code, that I have written here. As you see here, the text got changed into the center. So this is about the CSS. Thank you.